Happy New Year, everybody! Trevor here. It's been a while since I've done one of these, hasn't it? I was gonna make this my first video for 2025, but because Britt Allcroft recently passed away, I thought I'd make this one second. Today we'll be talking about my top 3 favorite voice actors for one of my favorite cranes of all time, Cranky the Crane. Cranky was first introduced in Season 5 and has been making many appearances since. He was also one of the only few new Season 5 characters to survive the test of time along with Ari and Bert. What makes Cranky very interesting is his personality and very tall appearance. He's basically the first stationary character in the Thomas & Friends TV series. But enough about the history lesson. Let's begin my top 3 favorite voices for the character, shall we? Coming at number 3 is Alec Baldwin. You may remember that I put Alec Baldwin as number 2 in my top 3 favorite narrators of Thomas & Friends video. Well, in my honest opinion, his voice for the character suits him really well, particularly in the US dub. He gives him this snarky and obnoxious attitude in seasons 5 and 6. However, the biggest reason I put him as number 3 is because, for one thing, Alec Baldwin doesn't voice the character anymore after season 6. And considering the controversy surrounding the actor himself, it just makes me lose respect for him even more. And like I always say about him, he may be a good actor, but not a good person. This is why we need to separate the art and the artist, because not all talented people are nice people, you know. But regardless, I still like him as Cranky and some of his other impressions in seasons 5 and 6. And those are all the reasons why he deserves the number 3 spot. Number 2 is Stephen Donald. This voice actor only voiced Cranky in the UK version of the Railway Adventures PC game, where he also voiced most of the other characters including James, Percy, Gordon, Diesel, and many additional voices. That's one reason why I put him as number 2. The second reason is that I thought his voice for the character isn't really half bad. In fact, I kind of like it because it's British sounding. And I'm pretty sure Stephen Donald was a nicer person than Alec Baldwin. Though, unfortunately, he only voiced most of the characters in Railway Adventures. I kind of wish that he, along with Simon Hepworth and Michael Angelis, voiced characters in the UK version of the classic series rather than just relying on one narrator. This is one example of a flaw with the classic Moz series, is that if you don't count Thomas Magic Railroad, all the characters were voiced by one person. I understood why they did this, but it would have given the characters more personality and expression if they had more than one actor in the entire show. But that's just me, though. But all in all, Stephen Donald's voice for Cranky is my second favorite, and I still think he did a decent job. Now, before I get to my number 1 pick, I just want to give a few honorable mentions. Will Harrison-Wallace. He would have been number 2 along with Corey Doran because I don't binge watch All Engines Go, and for obvious reasons. John Schwab. While best known for voicing Vinny in The Great Race along with 2 of the mainland diesels in Journey Beyond Sodor, he would have been number 3 because he only voiced him in the Nursery Rhymes videos in 2021, which are overall crap, by the way. Rob Rackstraw. He also would have been number 3 since he only voiced Cranky in certain online content. Also, am I the only one who thinks that his Cranky voice would suit well for Scruffy, if he were to return to the CGI series, that is? And the number 1 spot is a tie between Matt Wilkinson and Glenn Rage. I decided to put these as number 1 mainly because they both voiced the character in the CGI series in their respective dubs. Matt Wilkinson voiced Cranky in the UK version, while Glenn Rage voiced him in the US dub of the show. By the way, Matt Wilkinson was also known to voice many other characters in the CGI series, mostly for the UK dub including Rocky, Scruff, Spencer, Charlie, etc. And Glenn Rage was better known to voice a few other characters in the US version including Spencer and Ferdinand, just to name a couple. And in my opinion, I love both of Cranky's voice actors in the CGI series because not only did they make him sound quote-unquote cranky, but also with a bit of sarcasm here and there. I especially love it when Cranky gets annoyed with salty stories, especially in the Sharon Miller era. It's like you know that the plot is going to go horribly wrong in the end. And a perfect example of that is Percy and the Monster of Brandom, where it was foreshadowed by Salty that Cranky was the tall monster at Brandom, which was a very disappointing payoff. But still, Matt Wilkinson and Glenn Rage both did a perfect job with the character. But for my own headcanon, I chose Matt Wilkinson as Cranky just in case if Cranky's basis is British. And as an American Thomas fan myself, I like to stay true to a character's country of origin as much as possible, especially if it's a British design like Cranky. Now let me know in the comment section below on which Cranky voices are your favorite. Do you agree with my list or do you have your own personal preference? Join me in my next top 5 where I'll be talking about my favorite American railroad since I've recently gotten requests for it by someone. This is Trevor Davis signing off, and I hope you all have a happy new year.